Uh, Very good morning, my dear students. So, today's class is on clinical pathological topics like sputum and body fluid examination. So, sputum, what is sputum? Sputum is nothing but it is the material coughed out from the lungs, bronchi, trachea and the larynx, that is from the respiratory system. Normally the sputum, it is composed predominantly of mucus and also certain cellular and non-cellular components of the host origin. During expectoration, the sputum can also get contaminated with cells and normal bacterial flora from the mouth and pharynx. So sputum is a material coughed from the inside of the respiratory cavity. When it is coughed out, it can get contaminated with the saliva of the oral cavity. So now comes to the examination of the sputum and why it is carried out. Why examination of the sputum is necessary? It is mainly carried out to find the causative organism in a suspected case of lower respiratory tract infections, that is in the pneumonias. If a patient is, especially if it is very severe or in an immunocompromised patient. And second important examination is a suspected tuberculosis. If patient has a tuberculosis, sputum examination is compulsory carried out to see the causative organism. In causative organism, Mycobacterium tuberculosis is a bacilli which causes the disease called as tuberculosis and it affects the lungs. Then any of the suspected fungal infections, sputum examination is carried out. In infections like pneumocystitis carinii pneumonia in HIV patients, and it is also carried out in a chronic disease like bronchiectasis. Then second important thing to carry out the sputum examination is a cytological examination of malignant cells, and we all know that the carcinoma lung is the most common cancer in Indian scenarios because of chronic habits of smoking, exposure to dust, chemicals and all. So these malignant cells can be identified in a sputum if the patient is suffering from the CA lung or cancer lung. And investigation in some of the diseases like asbestosis, investigations of viral infections, viral inclusions in cytomegalovirus and herpes simplex infections and fungal infections. So basically sputum is carried out for the two things. One is the infective cause, another is a malignant cause. Then there is general briefing about how you collect the sputum, how you process, how you see and diagnosis. Sputum collection is mainly sputum is collected for the suspected patient early morning sample. Since secretions accumulate overnight, soon after awakening and before taking any mouthwash or food. Then second is sample collected in a clean, dry, wide mouth container with a securely fitting screw cap. The container should be leak proof and break resistant to prevent aerosol formation and desiccation and should have the capacity of about 25 ml. Patient takes a deep breath 2 to 3 times, filling the lungs, cough deeply and spits into the container. About 2 to 5 ml of sputum is collected. And remember, sputum should be very thick. It should come from the lower respiratory tract and we should be able to differentiate whether it is a sputum or saliva from the mouth. Sample consisting of saliva. Saliva consists of only foamy, clear and watery appearance and it is not acceptable. So thick part is must. So you should see for the thick part. If it is thick, then it is acceptable. If it is foamy, watery, it is not acceptable. So ask the patient to repeat and give the sputum. Then once the patient gives the sputum, you have to examine the sputum for its different colors and appearance. That is called as gross examination. So if the sputum is bloody, red in color, then you can think, then the condition is called as hemoptysis and it is seen in pulmonary tuberculosis, lung abscess, bronchiectasis, bronchogenic carcinomas, mitral stenosis and pulmonary infections. So lot of things gives rise to bloody sputum. Bloody sputum means you should think of patient is having some definite respiratory pathology. Then rusty color is seen mainly in the pneumococcal lobar pneumonia, is caused by a bacteria called as pneumococci. Then bloody or gelatinous red currant jelly is seen in Klebsiella pneumonia. Klebsiella is again one of the bacteria. Then green color of sputum is seen in Pseudomonas infection. purulent and separating into 3 layers on standing is seen in bronchiectasis and the lung abscess. Pink color or frothy with air bubbles is seen in condition called as pulmonary edema. Then copious amount of purulent sputum, purulent is total frank pus sputum, is seen in lung abscess, bronchiectasis and bronchopleural fistulas. So after the gross examination, then go for the microbiological examination of the sputum. Microbiological examination is carried with a special stain, that is gram staining and the ZN staining. Gram staining for identifying of a gram positive or gram negative bacteria. ZN staining or Zeal-Nansen staining is for identifying the tubercle bacteria, that is Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So in gram staining, some gram positive cocci which causes lung infections are Streptococcus pneumoniae, Streptococcus pyogenes and Staphylococcus aureus. Similarly, gram negative organisms like H. influenza, that is Haemophilus influenza, Klebsiella pneumonias, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Yersinia pestis and Moraxella catarrhalis. So these are the organisms which causes the pneumonias. So this is a diagrammatic representation. On the left hand side you are seeing the sputum is unacceptable. That means you are seeing only squamous cells and few of the bacilli which are studded with these squamous cells. These bacilli and squamous cells are basically from the sputum. So these are normal common flora of the oral cavity. Whereas on the right hand side you can see sputum showing gram positive diplococci, that is Streptococcus pneumoniae, and this is acceptable. If you are seeing this diplococci, then you can easily diagnose the patient is suffering from Streptococcus pneumoniae. Then further, after gram staining, we can go for the culture studies of this particular sputum, like to identify the exact bacteria. Ideal sputum sample for culture contains alveolar macrophages, numerous neutrophils, that is more than 5 high power field, bronchial epithelial cells, few squamous cells, that is less than 10 high power field should be there for the proper growth of the particular bacteria. Then if the sputum is mixed with the saliva, wash the sputum, separate the sputum and saliva and take the washed sputum for the inoculation into the plates. There is blood agar plate, chocolate agar plate. These are the plates where we inoculate the sputum and allow the bacteria to grow and study the growth, find out the exact bacteria causing the disease pneumonia, and then we can treat accordingly. So inoculated plates are inspected for growth after incubation for 18 hours. If growth is not satisfactory, incubation for further 24 hours is indicated. Once the growth occurs, antibiotic sensitivity test is carried out only if the growth is significant. Then we can see which antibiotic is working for which particular bacteria. So sputum is mainly used for gram staining and then cultural studies for identification of bacteria. Then examination of sputum for Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Already told you the stain is Zeal-Nansen stain. So direct test for diagnosis of tuberculosis on sputum sample are as follows. One is Zeal-Nansen technique or Zeal-Nansen staining. Second is the fluorescence microscopy. Third one, we can do culture on conventional media. We can also do commercial automated culture systems and molecular methods. These can be done on the sputum sample. So for detection of MTB, at least 3 sputum samples collected on 3 separate occasions, including at least 1 early morning specimen need to be examined. What we do a thin smear is prepared on a glass slide from the blood tinged opaque grayish or yellowish portion of the thick portion of the sputum. Then the smear is stained with the Zeal-Nansen stain and examined under ordinary microscope. If fluorescence microscopy is available, smear can be examined after it's stained with fluorochrome, that is auramine, rhodamine or auramine O stain, and examined under fluorescence microscope. So these are the 2 pictures. Left hand side you can see the ZN staining. In ZN stain, Mycobacterium tubercle bacilli identify as a pinkish beaded bacilli. Bacilli is a rod-like structure. Cocci is a round structure. So in this picture you can see pink shape, rod-like beaded appearance. So these are the Mycobacterium tuberculosis bacteria, and the background is having blue in appearance due to carbon fusion staining. Whereas right hand side you can see the auramine rhodamine stain fluorescent microscopy. In this Mycobacteria tubercle appearance golden yellow color, they can fluorescence. See here, sputum bacilla appears as yellow fluorescence rod with auramine O against the dark background. So these are the two microscopic examination of sputum is done for identification of Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Then we can do cultural studies on also. Cultural studies can also be done for the identification of MTB on the sputum sample. Culture is carried out for drug susceptibility testing, precise species identification if organism other than M. tuberculosis is suspected. So traditional culture media for isolation of M. tuberculosis there are two types of media. One is called as a solid media, which is a LJ media, that is Launceston-Janssens media, or agar based Middlebrook media, and a liquid media which is having Middlebrook different numbers 7H9, 7H12. So these are the two media mainly used for the identification or cultural or growth of M. tuberculosis on the sputum sample. Then after microbiological examination, after culture, we comes for cytological examination of the sputum. Cytology means cellular detail, study of cells, and the study of cells is mainly carried out for the identification of cancer cells, that is called as bronchogenic carcinoma. And some of the viruses can also be identified by cytological examinations, like viral inclusions of cytomegalovirus, herpes simplex virus, fungi can be identified, protozoas, and asbestosis bodies. Asbestosis bodies is nothing but these are the bodies which causes the disease called as asbestosis, and it is a pneumoconiosis, that is occupational related disorder. Then the smears are made from for this particular cytological examination, smears are made from again the thick portion of the sputum or the tissue fragment and stained with the stain called as Papiniculaw stain or Pap stain. Pap stain will highlight the malignant cell or the cancer cells. Sputum sample is considered as adequate for cytological examination if alveolar macrophages or bronchial epithelial cells are seen in the smear. So this is a smear showing left hand side, you can see the two pink cells. Pink cells are nothing but these are the squamous cells. They are having the centrally placed blue color nucleus. Whereas on the right hand side you can see the four cells which are very dark and blue in color with less cytoplasm, nothing. These are the malignant cells which are admixed with the normal squamous cells. When you see such types of malignant cells in the sputum, then you can identify the patient is suffering from the carcinoma lung or the cancer lung. Okay, so in sputum, briefing about the sputum examination, you have to do gross examination for the colors, then you have to go for microscopic examination with the gram stain, Zn stain, cultural studies. Then third one is a cytological examination for the malignant cells, that is in the cancer lung. The next comes the examination of the body fluids. Examination of body fluid is nothing but examination of two types of fluids, that is pleural fluid and another called as peritoneal fluid. Pleural fluid is nothing but a pleural cavity, that is the cavity is where the lungs are present. It is a potential space between the chest wall and the lung, and this cavity is lined by a flattened epithelium called as